The Slight Edge, Turning Simple Disciplines into Massive Success and Happiness, by Jeff Olson. Introduction. I want to tell you about two old friends of mine. They grew up in the same small town in New Mexico, went to the same schools, even roomed together in college. They were almost identical in every way, both personable, both ambitious, both with a spark of mischief in their eyes. If you line them up side by side, you'd say they were evenly matched, destined for similar paths in life. But their paths couldn't have been more different. The first friend, well, he dropped out of college. He ended up in Daytona Beach, Florida, living the life of a beach bum. He lifted weights, chased girls, and let his hair grow long. He made just enough money cutting grass on a golf course to get by, sweating under the hot sun while watching wealthy members cruise by in their golf carts. He felt frustrated, stuck. He eventually tried to start a business, but it failed, and he lost everything. The other friend, though, he lived a charmed life. He graduated from college with top honors, built a brilliant career at a huge tech firm, and then launched one successful business after another. Today, his life is rich in every sense of the word. He has a wonderful family, friends all over the world, and a sense of happiness that seems to follow him wherever he goes. And the strangest part? He and his old friend, the beach bum, are still in constant contact. In fact, they're inseparable. You might be wondering how two people who started at the exact same place could end up in such different worlds. You might be wondering what secret the millionaire knew that the beach bum never figured out. But that's not the real question. The real question is, how could they be the same person? Because they are. Both of them. They're both me. My name is Jeff Olson, and I have been both of those men. I've been the college dropout cutting grass on a golf course, feeling like life was deeply unfair. And I've been the millionaire, living a life beyond my wildest dreams. I didn't have some lightning strike transformation on a mountaintop. Deep down, I'm the same person I was back then. The only thing that changed wasn't who I was. It was what I did. And what I discovered, through a long and often painful journey of trial and error, is a simple, almost invisible principle that governs success and failure. It's a force that is working in your life right now, at this very moment, either for you or against you. It's called the slight edge. And by the time we're done here today, you will not only understand this principle, but you will hold the key to making it work for you, for the rest of your life. You'll understand how simple, everyday choices, the ones that seem to make no difference at all, are the very things that carve the path to your destiny. Book summary. We've all felt it, haven't we? That roller coaster of life. You start a new diet or a workout plan, and for a week or two, you're on fire. You feel great, you're making progress. And then, you slip. You miss a day. Then another. And before you know it, you're right back where you started, feeling even more frustrated than before. Or maybe it's in your career. You work incredibly hard, you get a promotion, things are looking up, and then you get comfortable. You ease up on the throttle, just a little, and slowly, almost without you noticing, you start to slide back down. This is the cycle that traps 95% of people. It's a constant wave, moving between failure and survival, occasionally touching success, but never staying there. We live our lives oscillating back and forth, wondering why we can't seem to break free. Why does this happen? It's not because we lack willpower. It's not because we don't want it badly enough. The author Jeff Olson discovered the reason on what he calls his day of disgust. Standing on that golf course, watching the successful people play, he realized something profound. The very same simple actions that pull us up from failure to survival are the exact same actions that will carry us from survival all the way to success. The only problem is, the moment we feel safe, The moment we're out of the danger zone, we stop doing them. Think about it. When you're on the verge of failing a class, you study. You do the homework. You show up. Those simple disciplines get you to a passing grade, to survival. But what if you kept doing them? What if you kept showing up, kept doing the small, daily tasks? You wouldn't just survive. You'd thrive. You'd reach the top of the class. You already know everything you need to know to be a massive success. The things that have helped you survive up to this point are the very things that can lead you to greatness. The secret isn't in learning some new, complicated skill. The secret is to not stop doing the simple things that got you this far. And that is the heart of the slight edge philosophy. Simple, productive actions, repeated consistently over time. This idea is so simple, it's almost deceptive. And to truly understand its power, let me share a story from the book. It's a fable about a wealthy father and his two sons, and a choice that would define their lives. As the father lay nearing the end of his days, he called his two sons to his side. "I want to give you both a gift," he said. "A choice." In one hand, he held a stack of crisp, new bills, $1 million in cash. In his other hand, he held a single, shiny copper penny. He told them, "You can have the $1 million right now. Or, you can have this penny. If you choose the penny, I will have my butler double its value every day for 1 month, for 31 days. Now, what would you choose? $1 million today, cold hard cash in your hand, or a single penny?" The first son didn't hesitate. $1 million. He was already imagining the life he could build, the investments he could make. He took the money, hired a team of the sharpest financial advisors, and set out to turn his million into a fortune. He was playing the game the way the world tells you to play it. Go big, move fast, make a splash. The second son, however, chose the penny. His brother was baffled. "You poor fool," he cried. "A penny? What can you do with that?" And for a while, it seemed he was right. On day 1, the second son had 1 cent. On day 2, 2 cents. On day 5, he had a grand total of 16 cents. At the end of the first week, he had just 64 cents. His brother, meanwhile, was living in a hotel suite, commanding a team of experts, and wheeling and dealing in the world of high finance. By day 10, the penny had grown to just over $5. Barely enough for a decent lunch. But this is where the magic of the slight edge begins to stir, almost invisibly. See, the second son had been given a little book of stories by his father. One was about a tiny water hyacinth on a large pond. It was so small, no one noticed it. But every day, it doubled in size. For weeks, it was just a tiny speck on the water. On day 20, it was still just a small patch. On day 29, half the pond was still open water. But on day 30, just 24 hours later, the entire pond was covered in a beautiful blanket of flowers. Another story was about 2 frogs who fell into a pail of cream. They couldn't climb out. One frog gave up, saying, "It's no use," and he sank. The other frog, though, just kept paddling. He didn't know why. He just kept doing the same small motion, over and over and over. He kept paddling for hours, feeling hopeless. But then, something solid formed beneath his feet. All that constant paddling had churned the cream into a solid lump of butter. He simply hopped out and went home. The second son understood. He didn't need a big, dramatic event. He just needed to trust the process. Let's go back to his pile of pennies. By day 20, 2/3 of the way through the month, his penny had grown to over $5,000. A nice sum, but nothing compared to his brother's million. But now, the curve was starting to bend upward. Meanwhile, the first son got some bad news. The markets had softened. His investments had soured. After paying his team of experts, his hotel bills, and his taxes, his $1 million windfall had turned into a $250,000 debt. He was ruined. And the second son? On day 28, his penny purse crossed the $1 million mark. On day 29, it was over $2 million. On day 30, it passed $5 million. And on the morning of the 31st day, when the butler handed him his purse, it contained $10,737,418.24. One son started with $1 million and ended with nothing. The other started with a penny and ended with a fortune. This isn't just a fable. This is the story of your life. It's a choice you are making every single day. The world will always offer you the $1 million, the quick fix, the lottery ticket, the crash diet, the quantum leap. It's loud, it's exciting, and it's seductive. The slight edge offers you the penny. The small, seemingly insignificant choice that, when compounded over time, leads to mastery and a fortune in every area of your life. Reading 10 pages of a good book every day. Doing a few minutes of exercise. Saving a few dollars from every paycheck. Telling someone you love them. Each of these actions is a penny. By itself, it's nothing. A single workout won't make you fit. Reading 10 pages won't make you a genius. Saving $5 won't make you a millionaire. Not today, anyway. And this is the first reason why 95% of people fail to use the slight edge. The actions are so simple, they seem insignificant. What difference does one cheeseburger make? What difference does one missed workout make? In the moment, the answer is, not much. The results are invisible. The second reason is just as powerful. Because they are so easy to do, they are also incredibly easy not to do. It's easy to read 10 pages. But it's just as easy to say, I'm too tired tonight, and turn on the TV instead. It's easy to go for a walk. But it's just as easy to hit the snooze button. No one is going to applaud you for reading those 10 pages. There's no immediate reward. There's no drama. And that's the trap. Our culture worships the quantum leap, the overnight success, the big break. We've been trained by movies and media to expect dramatic results, and to expect them now. We want to go from planting the seed to harvesting the crop in the same afternoon. But life doesn't work that way. There is a natural progression. You plant, you cultivate, and then you harvest. The slight edge is the long, quiet, patient, and often boring process of cultivating. It's the frog paddling in the cream when it feels like nothing is happening. It's the water hyacinth doubling when it's still too small to see. It's the second son watching his pennies grow to 64 cents while his brother is playing with millions. This brings us to one of the most powerful allies you have on this journey: time. Most people see time as their enemy. They're in a rush. They want results yesterday. But successful people understand that time is their greatest friend. Time is the force that magnifies the small, daily choices you make. Think of the Grand Canyon. It was carved not by a massive, single flood, but by a tiny river, flowing consistently, day after day, for millions of years. That is the power of time combined with small, consistent action. The equation is simple. Consistently repeated daily actions plus time equals unconquerable results. You supply the actions, the universe supplies the time. Your only job is to choose the right actions, the simple disciplines that serve you, instead of the simple errors in judgment that work against you. Every choice you make places you on one of two paths: the success curve, or the failure curve. These two paths start out almost parallel. They look nearly identical for a long time. The person who chooses to eat a salad instead of fries today doesn't look any different tomorrow from the person who chose the fries. The person who saves $10 doesn't feel any richer than the person who spent it. For weeks, months, even years, the difference is almost invisible. This is the deceptive nature of the slight edge. It's why so many people give up. They don't see immediate results, so they assume their efforts don't matter. But over time, those two paths begin to curve away from each other. Slowly at first, and then with breathtaking speed. The success curve shoots upward, while the failure curve plummets. And what determines which curve you're on? It's not luck. It's not your circumstances. It boils down to one of two mindsets: responsibility or blame. People on the failure curve live in a world of blame. It's the economy's fault. It's their boss's fault. It's their parents' fault. The government, the weather, their bad luck. By blaming others, they give away their power. They become victims of life, constantly looking at the past, filled with regret and resentment. People on the success curve, the 5%, live in a world of responsibility. They understand that no matter what has happened, they are the cause of what comes next. They take ownership of their choices, their actions, and their results. They don't dwell on the past. They use it as a tool to learn from, but their focus is always on the future. The future is what pulls them forward. As the author says, the past does not equal the future. At any given moment, you can choose to step onto the success curve. It starts with a single, simple choice. But how do you stay on that path, especially when it feels uncomfortable, or when the 95% of people around you are trying to pull you back down? This is where you must learn to cultivate slight edge habits. A habit is something you do on autopilot. And 99.9% of your life is run by your subconscious, on autopilot. Your success or failure is determined by what you've programmed into that autopilot. The author outlines 7 crucial habits you must cultivate. Habit 1. Show up. This is the first and most fundamental step. 80% of success, as Woody Allen said, is just showing up. Be the frog that actually jumps off the lily pad. Don't just think about it. Do it. Habit 2. Be consistent. It's not enough to show up once. You have to show up consistently, day after day, especially when you don't feel like it. This is how you build momentum. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. Steady wins the race. Habit 3. Have a positive outlook. This isn't about ignoring reality or walking around with a fake smile. It's about training your brain to see opportunities where others see problems. To look for the good in people and situations. And when the funk hits you, as it hits everyone, you embrace it, learn from it, and take baby steps back into positivity. Habit 4. Be committed for the long haul. Success is not a 90-day program. It's a lifelong journey. Author Malcolm Gladwell talks about the 10,000-hour rule. That mastery in any field takes about 10,000 hours of practice. Are you willing to put in the time? Farmers know they have to wait a full season to harvest. You must have that same patience. Habit 5. Cultivate a burning desire backed by faith. You have to want it, deeply. But desire alone isn't enough. You must back it with an unshakable faith, not a hope, not a wish, but a deep knowing that your small, daily actions are leading you to your goal. This is the congruence between your dream and your belief in the process. Habit 6. Be willing to pay the price. Every dream has a price. It's usually not a huge, dramatic sacrifice. It's a small, daily one. It might be giving up an hour of television to read. It might be saying no to dessert. It might be letting go of a friendship that is dragging you down. The price of discipline is always less than the price of regret. And finally, habit 7. Practice slight edge integrity. This is the most important of all. Integrity is what you do when no one is watching. It's 11 p.m., you're exhausted, and you still haven't read your 10 pages. No one will know if you skip it. Except you. That moment, that tiny choice, is where your character is forged. It's where you find out who you really are. Living the slight edge isn't just about building better habits, it's about building a better you. And you don't have to do it alone. One of the most powerful accelerators on this journey is mentorship. The author tells a beautiful story about a man named Clyde Scher, the director of the Albuquerque airport where he worked as a young intern. Clyde took an interest in him, took him for coffee, and simply believed in him. He says, "It was as if he believed me into existence." Because Clyde saw potential in him, he started to see it in himself. You must be incredibly conscious about who you associate with. It's said that your income, your health, and your attitude will be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are the people around you pulling you up the success curve or dragging you down the failure curve? Are there conversations filled with blame and gossip about the past, or responsibility and dreams for the future? Sometimes, you have to run the other direction from the dimmers, the people who suck the energy out of a room. This doesn't mean you cut family out of your life, but it does mean you manage your time. Some people are worth 2 minutes, but not 2 hours. Some are worth 2 hours, but not 2 days. You must protect your positive environment. And there's one more piece to this puzzle. A secret ingredient that makes the entire slight edge engine run more smoothly. It's happiness. For decades, we've been told a lie. We've been told, once you become successful, then you'll be happy. But the science of positive psychology has proven this to be completely backward. It's the other way around. Happiness is not the result of success. Happiness is the key to success. Research has shown that happier people are more creative, more productive, better problem solvers, have stronger immune systems, and live longer. Happiness precedes success. As the author says, be happy, and the reason will appear. So how do you become happier? It's not by winning the lottery or buying a bigger house. Just like everything else, it's through simple daily habits. Happy habits. Here are 5 from the book, based on the work of researcher Sean Acor. 1. Every morning, write down 3 new things you're grateful for. This trains your brain to scan for the positive. 2. Journal for 2 minutes about one positive experience from the last 24 hours. This lets your brain relive it, doubling the benefit. 3. Meditate for a few minutes each day. This trains your focus. 4. Perform a random act of kindness, like sending a 2-minute email praising or thanking someone. 5. Exercise for 15 minutes. This has a powerful antidepressant effect. These are just more examples of the penny. Small, easy to do, and easy not to do. But when you combine the slight edge philosophy with these happy habits, you create an unstoppable force for success in your life. And that success doesn't just stop with you. It creates a ripple effect. Your life, whether you know it or not, is constantly touching other lives. When you choose the slight edge, when you improve your health, your finances, your happiness, you become a better parent, a better friend, a better colleague. You create positive ripples that spread out from you in ways you may never even see. A smile to a stranger, a word of encouragement to a child, a commitment to your own growth, these small acts can change the trajectory of someone else's day, and maybe even their life. The greatest legacy you can leave is not in the money you make, but in the positive ripples you create. So, where do you go from here? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And the path to your dreams begins with 3. First, write it down. A dream is just a wish until you write it down. Make it specific. Give it a deadline. A goal is a dream with a deadline. The moment you put it on paper, it begins to become real. Second, look at it every day. You have to constantly remind your brain where you're going. Surround yourself with your own yeses to counteract the thousands of no's you've heard in your life. Feed your goals to your subconscious, and it will start to notice the people and opportunities that can help you get there. And third, start with a plan. And here is the secret: the plan you start with will not be the plan that gets you there. Its purpose is not to be perfect. Its purpose is to get you started. To get you to jump off the lily pad. Your first plan will lead you to your second plan, which will lead you to your third. The journey is a constant process of course correction, just like an Apollo rocket that was off course 97% of the time on its way to the moon, yet still got there. So, find your penny. Find that one simple daily discipline in each area of your life. The one small step you can commit to. And then, begin. Commentary. When you really boil it down, the slight edge isn't about a new tactic or a clever life hack. It's a fundamental shift in philosophy. It's about understanding that greatness isn't born from giant leaps, but from the quiet accumulation of tiny, positive choices. What I find so powerful about this book is how it liberates you from the pressure of the quantum leap. We live in a world that shouts at us to be extraordinary, to make a huge splash, to become an overnight success. And when we fail to do that, we feel like failures. This book whispers a more patient, a more compassionate, and ultimately, a more powerful truth. You don't have to be extraordinary overnight. You just have to be consistent today. The story of the penny is more than just a lesson in finance. It's a metaphor for life. Every area of your life, your health, your relationships, your knowledge, is subject to the law of compounding. The small, wise choices you make today are investments that will pay unimaginable dividends in the future. The small, poor choices are debts that will compound into a burden too heavy to carry. The message is deeply empowering because it puts the control squarely back in your hands. It tells you that no matter where you are right now, no matter what your past looks like, you can change your future. You can't change the past, but you can always change the future, starting with your very next choice. So, what can you do, right now, to put the slight edge to work for you? Let's not get complicated. Let's find one penny. 1. Read just one page of a good book tonight. Not 10. Just one. If you feel like reading more, great. But commit to just one. It's easy to do, and almost impossible to say no to. 2. Drink one extra glass of water today. That's it. A simple, positive choice for your health. 3. Take 60 seconds before you go to sleep to think of one thing you're grateful for from your day. Just one. Let that be the last thought you have before you drift off. These are not giant leaps. They are pennies. They seem insignificant. They will produce no visible result tomorrow. But they are the start of a new path. They are the first threads in the steel cable of a new habit, a new character, and a new destiny. That was a summary of The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. We've certainly touched on the core ideas today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary is like looking at a picture of the Grand Canyon. The real magic happens when you stand at the edge of it yourself. The book is filled with stories, nuances, and a spirit that can't be fully captured in a summary. It's a book to be read, and then reread. If anything we've talked about today has struck a chord with you, I encourage you to pick up a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning a new idea, it's an experience that can fundamentally change the way you look at your daily life. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, and you want to continue exploring the ideas that shape the most successful people in the world, please take a moment to subscribe and perhaps share this with someone you think might need to hear it. Let's keep growing together.